Something is breaking in Germany, and it starts with Volkswagen. In recent months, VW has been quietly shutting down plants, cutting production, and laying off workers. At first, it seemed like a temporary slowdown, a corporate reset. But now, the picture is much darker. This isn't just about one company trimming fat. It's about Germany's industrial pride, the auto industry, being pushed to the edge. Volkswagen is Germany's largest car maker. For decades, it was the blueprint: efficient, profitable, world-dominant. But now, it's slashing jobs, delaying investments, and losing ground where it once led. What's causing it? Falling demand, rising costs, and competitors that are faster, cheaper, and hungrier. VW's collapse isn't just a business problem, it's a national alarm bell. Factories are going silent, workers are being sent home, and one of the world's most advanced economies may be watching its crown jewel fade. If Volkswagen is struggling this badly, what hope does the rest of the industry have? Germany used to lead the auto world. Now, it's chasing China and falling behind fast. While Volkswagen wrestles with slow sales and high costs, Chinese automakers are rewriting the rules of the global car market. Companies like BYD, NIO, and Wuling aren't just competing, they're flooding the world with cheap, sleek, and highly efficient electric vehicles. Some start under $10,000, and they're packed with the kind of tech that younger drivers actually want. German car makers, by contrast, are still stuck in transition, weighed down by expensive factories, old business models, and EVs that cost too much to build and too much to buy. And China, it's playing the long game. Backed by huge government subsidies, streamlined supply chains, and a laser focus on affordability, Chinese EVs are already outselling German brands in key markets, even in Europe. Volkswagen isn't just being outperformed, it's being outpaced, outpriced, and, in some markets, outright replaced. The race for the future of driving is on. And right now, Germany isn't winning. Volkswagen was planning to build the future of electric mobility in Germany. Massive battery plants, new EV lines, tens of thousands of high-tech jobs. Now, they're pulling back. And it all comes down to one brutal truth: Germany is simply too expensive to power the future. After shutting down its last nuclear plants and cutting off cheap Russian gas, Germany has become one of the most energy-expensive countries in the developed world. Electricity prices have soared, and for factories like VW's, that's a death sentence. In fact, VW has already delayed its €2 billion battery plant in Lower Saxony, warning it might build in Eastern Europe instead, where energy is cheaper and more reliable. It's a stunning reversal. Germany, the industrial powerhouse, can't even afford to build its own cars on its own soil. And here's the twist: this wasn't caused by market failure, but by political decisions. Germany's fast-track green transition left heavy industry stranded. And companies like Volkswagen are now wondering, did we bet on the wrong country for the future of electric cars? There's a new war happening, and it's not fought with weapons, but with tariffs. And guess who's stuck right in the middle? Germany. In 2024, the EU slapped tariffs as high as 38% on Chinese electric vehicles. The reason? China was accused of unfairly subsidizing its EV giants like BYD and SAIC, giving them an edge in European markets. Sounds like good news for Germany's automakers, right? Wrong. Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes hated the move. Why? Because they rely heavily on China for car sales, parts, and raw materials. VW sells more cars in China than anywhere else in the world. If China hits back, and they've already hinted at retaliation, it could wreck Germany's most profitable market. Even worse, the cost of making EVs in Germany could skyrocket if China restricts exports of batteries, software, or critical minerals like lithium and cobalt. So while the EU is trying to protect local industry, Germany's biggest auto brands feel like they've been thrown into a fight they didn't ask for. And if this trade war escalates, Germany could lose from both sides. Volkswagen made one of the biggest bets in the auto industry: go all in on electric vehicles, and fast. The plan was bold: launch a futuristic electric flagship called Trinity, packed with advanced software and self-driving features. It was supposed to arrive in 2026. Now, it's been delayed until 2032. According to VW, the delay is mainly due to issues inside its own software division, CARIAD, which has struggled to deliver on time. Development costs are rising, timelines are slipping, and meanwhile, the competition isn't slowing down. In response, Volkswagen is shifting focus. Instead of betting on one big launch, it's now upgrading existing EV models like the ID.4 and planning a new, affordable EV priced around €25,000. The stakes are high. European EV sales are growing. Chinese automakers are expanding rapidly, and Tesla still leads in software and scale. Volkswagen isn't out of the race, but it's no longer setting the pace. The question now is, can it catch up in time? For decades, Volkswagen has been one of Germany's most stable employers. Generations of workers built careers on the factory floor, often at the same plant for life. But in late 2024, VW announced a major restructuring. The company plans to reduce its workforce in Germany by up to 35,000 jobs by 2030. To be clear, these aren't mass layoffs. Most of the cuts will come through early retirements, voluntary exits, and natural attrition. But the impact is still significant. Several plants are being scaled back. Dresden will end vehicle production in 2025. Osnabrück will phase out operations by 2027. Even Wolfsburg, VW's iconic HQ, is reducing production lines. Why now? EVs are simpler to build and need fewer workers. Combined with high energy costs and slowing demand in key markets like China, Volkswagen is adapting, but at a cost. The company says it's restructuring to stay competitive in a changing world. For many workers, though, it marks the end of an era. Imagine this: a multi-billion-euro factory, dozens of workers on the clock, EV rolling down the line. Then suddenly, everything stops because one key component didn't arrive. That's exactly what's happening at Volkswagen right now. In early 2025, VW had to pause EV production at its Emden plant due to a shortage of a single part: the APP550 electric motor. That same shortage has also disrupted production at the Zwickau plant. Just one missing piece, and thousands of cars are delayed. And it doesn't stop there. Parts suppliers like Schaeffler, which provide components for VW, BMW, and Mercedes, are slashing over 4,700 jobs, most of them in Germany. Why? Because demand is dropping, and the global supply chain is still on shaky ground. What does this mean for Germany's auto empire? Even the best factories can't run if the parts don't show up. In the new EV era, the real power isn't just in building the car, it's in controlling the supply. German cars, Audi, BMW, Volkswagen, have long been the pride of the nation. But when it comes to the next generation of drivers, things are shifting. Recent surveys show that over half of Germans are open to buying an electric car next. For those under 30, about 1 in 3 expect their next ride to be fully electric, but many are still weighing their options, including hybrids and traditional engines. So, what's holding some back? Price is a big factor. German EVs tend to come with a premium price tag, while affordable options from Chinese brands are catching attention. And it's not just about money. Young buyers want tech that feels seamless, cars that fit their lifestyle, and something sustainable, but practical. Hybrids are popular too, offering a best-of-both-worlds option for those not quite ready to go full electric. In short, young Germans are curious, cautious, and selective. German automakers still have a shot, but winning over this group means more than just great engineering. It means understanding what drives them, literally and figuratively. Germany's auto industry is facing one of its biggest challenges in decades. Volkswagen's plant shutdowns, supply chain problems, and changing customer preferences reflect wider pressures across the entire sector. But Germany still has many strengths: strong engineering skills, decades of experience, and major investments in electric vehicles and new technologies. Automakers are pouring billions into developing EV battery production and software systems. There's also growing collaboration with startups and efforts to modernize manufacturing. At the same time, global competition is intensifying. Chinese companies are rapidly expanding their EV offerings, often at lower prices. Meanwhile, US firms are pushing ahead with new technologies, and rising energy costs and trade uncertainties add extra pressure. The key question is whether Germany can balance these challenges, adapting quickly enough to keep jobs and maintain its position as a global leader. The coming years will show how well the industry can navigate this major transition. Volkswagen's story is more than just factories closing or numbers falling. It's about a proud industry facing its toughest challenge yet. For decades, German cars symbolized quality and innovation. Now, the road ahead is uncertain, filled with new technologies, fierce competition, and big changes. But every ending holds the seed of a new beginning. Whether Germany's auto industry can rise again depends on how it adapts and innovates. The journey won't be easy, but one thing is certain: the wheels of change are turning, and the future is still being written.